You know that feeling, where for a moment things feel okay. You're present, you're clear, maybe even a little hopeful, and then something happens. A conversation, a notification, a memory, and just like that, you're back in it. The tightness, the overwhelm, the fog that makes everything feel heavier than it should. And this pattern isn't random, it's a pattern your nervous system has learned. And then somewhere underneath all of it, this persistent question: why does this keep happening? Nothing is wrong with you. You just haven't been given the right map. Most of us were taught that the nervous system has two modes. 1, fight or flight, when you're stressed, activated, on edge. And 2, rest and digest, when you're calm, safe, restored. 2 states, 2 gears. And the advice that usually follows sounds like: find ways to move from the first to the second. Breathe more, think differently, reduce stress. And that advice isn't useless. But for a lot of people, maybe you're one of them, it doesn't fully land. Most people think anxiety is overactivation, but sometimes it's actually the opposite. You breathe, you try to relax, and there's still something underneath that won't quite settle. Or the opposite, everything drops. Things go a little foggy, a little out of reach. That's not a failure of effort. That's a sign the map is missing something. This is where most advice completely breaks down. But then in 1994, a neuroscientist named Stephen Porges discovered something the traditional model had completely overlooked. A third state, a third gear. And once you understand it, you'll never think about your nervous system the same way again. Porges called his framework the Polyvagal theory. The name comes from the vagus nerve, the longest nerve in your body, running from your brainstem all the way through your heart, your lungs, your gut. What he found is that the vagus nerve has 2 distinct branches, 2 pathways, and together with the sympathetic nervous system, they give us not 2 states, but 3. Each state has its own physiology, its own way of organizing how you see the world, how you respond to people, how you hold your body, even how clearly you can think. And crucially, you don't consciously choose which state you're in. Your nervous system chooses for you based on what Porges called neuroception, your body's continuous automatic scan of the environment for cues of safety or danger, happening entirely beneath conscious awareness, before thought, before choice. While you can't think your way into a different state, recognizing what's happening is the first step. Here are the 3 main states your nervous system cycles through. 1. Sympathetic, mobilization. This state is sympathetic activation, what most people know as fight or flight. When your nervous system detects a threat, real or perceived, it mobilizes. Cortisol and adrenaline rise, heart rate increases, muscles tighten, digestion slows, your vision literally narrows. It's like when you see a message coming in and feel your body tense before you even open it. This state is not a malfunction. It's your body doing exactly what it's evolved to do, preparing you to move, to respond, and to survive. The problem isn't the state, it's when the nervous system gets stuck here, when the threat signal never fully turns off, when your body is still tight, even when you're sitting quietly at home, even when nothing is actually wrong. This is the exhaustion that doesn't end with sleep, the anxiety that doesn't have a clear source, the feeling of being wired and tired at the same time, running on activation with nothing left to spend. If that sounds familiar, you're not flawed. Your nervous system is doing its job. It just hasn't received the signal that the threat has passed. 2. Dorsal vagal, shutdown. This state is the one most often misunderstood, and where the weight of shame and doubt can feel the heaviest. It's called the dorsal vagal state, and it activates when the nervous system has assessed that the threat is too great. Mobilization isn't working, so freeze sets in. You might know this as the deep fog, the numbness, feeling disconnected from your own life, watching it from behind glass, the flatness, the not caring, the exhaustion that doesn't have a bottom, scrolling for an hour and not remembering any of it. This state is often mistaken for laziness, for depression, for not trying hard enough. It isn't any of those things. It's a survival response, one of the oldest in the mammalian nervous system, the body's last resort when fight and flight aren't options. And it's far more common than most people realize, especially in those who've been pushing through chronic stress for a long time. The fact that you can recognize it right now, in this moment, is already something, because recognition is where the work begins. 3. Ventral vagal, home base. The third state is one your system can find its way back to. It's called the ventral vagal state. This is governed by the newer and most evolved branch of the vagus nerve. And when you're here, your nervous system has registered one thing: I am safe. You can think of this state as your system's home base. This is not about finding a perfect place, but a state of flexibility and capacity. You have range here. Your body can move into action when needed, and then settle back into rest. This is where things like connection, creativity, and even joy come back online. You might recognize it as feeling genuinely calm, not numbed out, but at ease. Talking to someone you trust and feeling your shoulders drop. Feeling curious, open, present. Your voice has warmth to it. Your face is relaxed. You can listen fully, not just waiting for your turn to speak. This is the state from which real healing happens, from which learning happens with curiosity and genuine interest. Embodied and deep rest is possible here. And if you've been spending a lot of time in the other states, this can feel unfamiliar at first. But here's what matters. The ventral vagal state isn't just the absence of stress. It's an active physiological state, one your nervous system shifts into with the right conditions of safety. And for many of us, especially those carrying chronic stress, burnout, or old wounds, the nervous system doesn't trust safety easily, even when everything looks fine on the outside. Here's what I want to offer you before you close this video. Not a technique, not a protocol, just a question. Where are you right now? Notice your breath, not to change it, just to feel it. Is it shallow, slow and even? Notice your body. Is there tightening somewhere? Jaw, shoulders, chest? Or is there a heaviness, a flatness, a kind of distance from yourself? That noticing, that small act of turning attention inward, is itself a cue of safety to your nervous system. Because presence, even gentle presence, begins to interrupt the automatic scan for threat. This is where polyvagal theory stops being an intellectual idea and something you can actually feel and work with. In the next video, we explore this further. Simple ways to notice and work with your nervous system. Practical exercises to gently move between these states. To expand what's called your window of tolerance. To train your nervous system towards safety. The way you train a muscle towards strength and flexibility. Not by forcing it, by befriending it. If something in this video feels like an experience you carry often, and you want to go a little deeper, there are a few resources to explore below. Which of the three states do you recognize most in yourself right now? Feel free to jot it down in the comments. Naming it can help you notice it more clearly, and it helps others too. And whenever you're ready to continue, the next video is right here.